Okay, it says I'm green. There we go. There we go. It was set to private. Here we go. 2 minutes and 25 seconds. I double checked it for when we talked before to make sure it was set to public. It was set back to private. Well, hello everybody. Let's see if this thing's working okay. Hopefully it is. People can see us out. This is my chat. Make sure my chat is working okay. I think the chat's working okay. How is everyone doing?
I think you're good.
Let's take a look here in the chat. Do a quick check here. I always want to double check my chat. I want to take you over here. You always have these early technical difficulties whenever you do anything.
It never fails. Never ever fails. Never.
That's it.
Murphy's Law.
Yeah. Mr. Murphy's always with me. There we go.
Yeah. I'm sure he's been threatened his life a few times.
There we go. I think the chat's okay now. I think the chat was set to an old key, as old as 5 minutes ago. What do we have here? 8-Bit Millie. Hey, how are we doing? I'm not seeing the chat though here. There we go. There we go. All right. So we're going to be talking about a couple things today, right, Stephen? We got a few things on our agenda.
Yippers. We got all kinds of stuff to talk about. It's weird. I'm watching the live stream and there's like a total delay.
Yeah, there's going to be a delay because,
yeah, it's fine.
The retro channel here. It's going to take a little bit long. So we have some people on the chat. How is everyone doing? No Retro Buzz tonight. Retro Buzz will be back next week. We're going to have a special guest on the Retro Buzz. We're going to have New Wave Toys with a product announcement and a special guest of their own on the show. But that's not what we're doing tonight. Tonight, Stephen...
We're the two substitutes.
Well, we're the older crowd. We're the two older guys now, right? From the...
Yeah, the seniors of the gang.
That's right.
How old are you?
Just turned 52 for me. Yep.
52. You're a little older than I am. I've turned 50 last
Well, congratulations on being half a century old, Stephen.
Old bastards. That's what we should call this chat.
Actually, that's a good idea. For people in the chat, we're still looking for a name for the channel.
Yeah. What should we call it?
Right now it's just Glen and Stephen Retro Talk. But We need something better. Two grumpy old retro guys. I mean, try and come up with a name. We'll take a look at the chat, and maybe we can use a name.
What was some of the ideas that we have? Like we were trying to steal like grumpy old men, but call it
grumpy old gamers,
grumpy old retro gamers, or something like that. Or if you guys have names,
that's
we're
it.
all ears.
And I want to say hi to Jen. Jennifer's in there. She's always joining these. She's crazy, watching my shows all the time.
Hi, Jennifer. Heard a lot about you. Good things, not bad
good things. Good things are good things.
Good things, positive stuff.
Okay. So let's talk about a couple things we want to talk about. We have the Colecovision on the screen. Now, Colecovision came out in 1982, and my co-host over here happens to run, I think is it the largest Colecovision website, Colecovision Addict? There you go.
No, I'm joking. I don't know what it is, honestly, but we talked about this before, but for those of you that have no idea who the hell I am, I guess, is the site was built out of frustration because I was looking for stuff online and I couldn't find anything. So I just made this database that you can bring around with your phone and all this stuff, and it's pretty cool. Like it's and over the years I've just met a whole bunch of interesting people and people that just want to make the community better. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool stuff.
And when people don't know, if you didn't know as well, he also ran Xbox Addict, or it's still his, but he has other people, I think, running it now, right?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that started off in the year 2000 for the original Xbox, and I ran it for 15 years. And after a while, I just got burnt out.
Really? I can't imagine how that could possibly happen, Stephen.
15 years of one console, and it wasn't Microsoft that did anything. It's just you get burnt out on something. You take plane rides to E3 every year, and that costs a lot.
Boo-hoo! You got plane rides to E3?
Boo-hoo costs a lot of money.
Well, did they pay for it, or you paid for it out of pocket?
I paid for.
I thought they were.
They paid for other trips. They paid trips to go to. Well, not them. EA had sent me to Germany to drive a Porsche for Need for Speed. Yeah, I got to drive a Porsche around the Porsche test track in Leipzig, Germany. It was a lot of fun. I'll never drive a Porsche ever again, probably, but it was fun. It was for Need for Speed. EA had paid for the whole shebang, and all they sent me was an email that says, "You want to go to Germany?" I was like, "Does a bear shit in the woods? Of course I want to go to Germany."
Well, not around here. Go. A lot of bears shit in your front lawn around here, but I guess they probably do it in the woods
here,
too.
They don't attack you yet, but yeah, here too.
Okay, so one of the things we did want to talk about today is, like I said, the Colecovision, and there's a couple things happening in the community right now. Now, one of my other friends I've known for quite a while, his name is Millie, and he's very into ColecoVision, the ColecoVision Atom. He's actually someone who actually repaired some of my digital data pack drives on my Atom, and he's got a web store, and we'll put links down below to Millie's stuff. But he started a Kickstarter. You hear about this, Stephen? He had a Kickstarter he started.
Yes, he started a Kickstarter for a Crazy Climber inspired game, right?
So the ColecoVision, it's one of the consoles that was never fully realized just because the gaming crash kind of happened, 83, 84. ColecoVision came out in 82. So there was a lot of great games released for it. I mean, there's a lot of very good quality games on there. But Crazy Climber, which actually was in the top 3 of 1980s top arcade games. You had Space Invaders.
That's what
I do claims. You had Space Invaders, you had Pac-Man, and you had Crazy Climber. And it was ported to a couple of consoles. I mean, the Atari 2600 did have a port, but you couldn't buy it in the store.
Was it any
not
good?
Not really. But the Crazy Climber was only available in the Atari Club. The Atari Club. If you belonged to the Atari Club, I think you sent them like $50. They sent you Atari Climber, and it was a single joystick, and you just pressed up on your joystick, and the guy climbed up. But Crazy Climber needs at least 2 joysticks for the most part to play it. The left joystick's your left arm, the right joystick's your right arm, and you go back and forth on them to make them go up there and pick across. But Atari at least had made it. If you belonged to the club, you were able to get it that way. I don't believe any of the other consoles had it back then. Now, the Bally Astrocade actually had a port, and it was actually a very, very good port, but that was a homebrew that had come out. But if you have a Bally Astrocade,
does it have 2
you can do it in single? Yes. Now, the Bally Astrocades, have you seen those joysticks? They look like gun holders, and you use your thumbs for the joysticks on it. So yes, it supported a single.
I have zero
Ah,
experience
it's a
with the
shame.
Valley
I mean,
Astro.
it's
None.
one of those.
I'd love to try it.
It's a great console. It's just
never
it's
saw
very
one.
delicate. Out of all the old consoles, they usually built like a tank. You can't kill them. The Bally Astrocade, you breathed on it wrong, it was going to fry itself. So that was the bad thing. But it had a really good port of Crazy Climber. Now, outside
cool.
of that, Crazy Climber really wasn't released until, like, as far as I know, like the NES in Japan. Not in the States, but in Japan, they released Crazy Climber, and you can use 2 of the NES pads, for the 2 joysticks. And they did release it for the Wii, which I thought was pretty good with your nunchucks. So you could do it that. Yeah,
Really?
it's actually really, really fun.
I'll have to check those out. You'll have to make a video, all the Crazy Climber ports
You
or
know what?
whatever.
It's actually
pretty cool.
on
It
my
sounds
my things to do list.
You're obsessed with that game. You even made one of those
I
mini
did.
things, didn't
Yes,
you?
I did.
Converted it?
I took a Stewie pinball and converted that into a Missile
Oh, that's right.
Command
Yeah,
and
you did
Crazy
show me
Climber.
that.
So
Yep.
I do like Crazy Climber. And actually, Neil Henry from the Old Maid New Forum converts Coleco, the Coleco tabletops, and he made me a Crazy Climber unit. So I do like Crazy Climber. It's a fun, it's an unusual game for an unusual person like myself. So, that's really all the ports I remember, aside from now with MAME, you could play it that way. But the Colecovision, which was a really good machine, we both kind of agree on that, never had an official port of...
Joysticks are terrible.
They
but the
are,
machine
they
itself,
are. But you can always
hardware-wise.
plug in,
Yeah.
for a lot of times, 2600 compatible controllers for the joystick, if you only need like one button.
Mm-hmm.
But Millie, I was quite shocked on I saw on Kickstarter that he was doing
It looks
Crazy
good.
Climber. And let's take a quick peek at it. I do have some videos here of it, and I'm going to hide the Colecovision thing here and pull this up for a second. So here is, I guess, his title screen. You can see you do a single or dual joystick. And he's got Kickstarter supporters. He said he's still adding people in there, so don't worry if you don't see your name in here right now. I should be in there. I supported him. And so this is just pretty neat, because I know he's done a lot of work on the Colecovision. He's done some software coding for like the Atom and stuff, but I had no idea he was able to actually program a game. So this is actually a very early prototype, just showing you the levels of it. And the building and the background looked pretty good. Now, that was just a quick flash. I do have another video here, which we'll bring up here. Let's see. Here we go. And I'm going to make it a little bit bigger just for a second here, just so we can see it a little bit better. Bring this a little bit bigger here. Whoop, I'm going
I think it's a good kick at the can,
bring this
to
up. There
be
we go.
honest with you.
So, yeah, I think he's done a pretty nice job so far. Again, this is just an early demo. You can see the windows opening and closing.
yeah. of
And
course,
your Crazy Climber guy is there. You can see all the way on the left-hand side is your building, how high you're going to go up. And I think for just being on Kickstarter and how far he's gone, he's getting there. He still has to add a lot of things. Like, he's going to be adding in the game, there's the eagle that would fly over you and poop and pee on you, which was just hysterical back in the day, being like a 12-year-old playing this game, seeing this bird pooping on you when you're climbing the building. He's going to have, there's King Kong in the game. There are billboards with electrical wires that zap you. There's girders and stuff that fall down on you. People out of the windows dropping pots. So he's got some ways to go, but again, this is just a very early prototype. But I think he's done a fairly nice job so far. And his Kickstarter, which I'm going to pull up here as well, and we'll shrink this back down just so we can... It's always fun using this program sometimes. Touch the wrong thing, and it just messes you up a little bit.
I think he's off to a good start, honest to God. He's
I think so.
You know
I think so. I'll put this back down where I had it there. Now, I have a link to his Kickstarter page, I think, over here. Let's see if we get this thing on here. I got to find the right thing. But that should have been it. Why don't I see it? Is it hidden? Again, we're live, people. This is live. There's not a pre-recorded video. We're doing this live. And, of course, my Chrome is, vanished, and I'm not quite sure why.
Well, ultimately, we could talk about it. From what I saw, he's got different packages for, ROM only, the cartridge, and all that stuff. So it's
there
a lot
we
of
go.
stuff's changing in the Coleco community.
Here it
in
is.
My opinion, which
It popped up. So there we go. So this is his Kickstarter page. And again, it hasn't been live too long. He's already reached his initial goal. I think it was $3,000. He was trying to get. I got to move the screens over here. My goodness. But right, so his pledge goal was $3,000. You can see he's already at $3,500. 48 backers. He's still got 55 days to go. So we want to really bang this up so we can really do a bang up job on this game. And he's releasing it, and depending on your pledge level. It's just a ROM only, or we can get it with a cartridge and a box. I think where's the pledges on here? Gotta find my pledges.
It looks like 8-Bit Millie is saying he did all that in 4 days. That's remarkable.
That is pretty good. I don't think when I was in the womb, I improved that much in 4 days. I think I was probably something like 8 cells
You're
at
work
that
in
point.
progress.
Exactly right. So, I mean, he's doing pretty good here already, and we still got time for this to be released. He added a couple of additional backers on there. Like I said, you can get it with a cartridge and a manual, a digital copy of the cartridge. But then I was talking to him. I said, what would be kind of nice is with the game as it is, what if you put on some billboards? If you put in, like advertising, put in some additional advertising in there for people. And they said that's a great idea. So we put that up there, and I think that's already gone. There were like 5 or 6 backers for that, and that got spots already got eaten up. But I think this is going to be a pretty good game. And again, I always like seeing something for a classic machine, being brought back to the forefront. What's your take?
Yep. Oh, yeah. I'm a big Homebrew fan. I'm a big believer that there's more ideas that have never been explored on these systems. I think that if you look at games like Sydney Hunter or stuff like that, where they're completely different games, that's what I like to see. Original, 100% your own on an old system. I think those are essentially what makes it exciting again. Clones and not clones, but direct ports and stuff, I'm less of a fan of. I don't hate them, just more or less, you know what I mean? More of a supporter on the original stuff. Right. You know what I mean? But like I said, you know what I mean? It's at the end of the... let's say 8-Bit Millie says there's one building
there we go. So there's still one slot left.
One slot left. Maybe I should put Colecovision Addict on there or something to maybe talk to him.
And we were actually talking before the show, right? We were talking about some things maybe you could add to it. You had a good suggestion. Do you remember what that suggestion was?
No.
Well, when the climber fell, you had an idea for when the climber actually fell.
Oh, that's right. That he fell to his death and had a little extra blood that didn't exist in the old 8-bit days. That you'd see your progress lost, falling all the way down in a splat.
Well, you could do maybe like an enhanced version. So you have your classic crazy climber, then enhanced version. We actually saw the guy fall, and you get a shot of him on the ground, kapink, or maybe some guy walking by with his coffee and he gets landed on, kaplank, something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Just something comical that the cartoons used to do or whatever. That'd be pretty cool. It'd be
kind of funny to see that, because normally he would just go, no, and he would just, fall off the screen.
I'm not sure if Millie's doing a large cartridge or if it's 32K and that's it and the whole thing is done. But if it's, he's like, blood. That's pretty funny. But basically, if it's 32K, he's going to squeeze in as much as he can in there, right? So it's the maximum for that stuff. So I'm a big fan, right? So it's I think this stuff is what breathes new life to these consoles. I just love it.
I agree, and what's kind of funny about when we both saw this, right? We were talking as well. Something else had just come in your possession when it was doing this. So why don't you talk about that a little bit?
3D printed Coleco cartridge shells. They actually look really good. I don't know how much of this will come across on the stream.
It is coming across, and what's funny, I know he's using original cartridges right now.
And then there's one of those custom PCBs in there.
I know he's doing original cartridges right now, but this is something that you could do some cool things. Maybe you could even do 3D print to the Coleco cartridge, like a crazy climber building on it.
Like, what was the colors for Crazy Climber? Was it like a red cabinet?
It was like orange. I'm pretty sure the cabinet was orange.
Well, you can get orange PLA all day long, and see, this is the two halves, and they're modeled after a real original ColecoVision cartridge, like from Coleco themselves. I've got a green one here. And the custom PCBs are being ordered from China. The same individual, his name is Eric. He designed the 3D model for this. And essentially, he designed a 32K
Right.
board.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, and essentially, he's made sure to me that this is completely 100% open source. So if you want to make it this would be perfect for Millie. You want to make it for your project that you're doing everything 100% yourself. These items are for him or somebody like him. Yeah, basically that you want to 3D print some cartridges, make a couple of 3D prints of green or orange or what have you, and you drop in the PCB that he designed that he doesn't want any credit for.
Yeah,
He
we'll
made
give
it
him
easy
credit.
on PCB
He doesn't want the
way.
credit, but we're gonna shove the credit right in his face.
Well, that's what I mean. The guy is making it available for everyone. You know what I mean? That everyone can do this. Like, you can print this up on a 3D printer. This was done on a Ender 3 3D printer, and you can get different results. But this one here is really smooth. The one Eric actually sent me. So,
what's really cool about that is,
and-
Stephen, he could take that case and take like Crazy Climber logo and like 3D print that on the shell, or
Yeah.
3D print a building on the shell. So it's just other cool ideas you could maybe do. Maybe another
actually
backer
having
level.
an extruded guy
Right.
climbing a building
Like-
right here,
Right.
or whatever. It could be creative,
He's got
and it'll still
55
fit in the
days
Coleco, because I
left.
think on the Coleco it goes
He's got
about
55
here.
days left. This could be another backer level, a 3D printed case that looks like a Crazy Climber building or something like that. Just giving him some ideas.
It'd be one tall cartridge with a
Right,
building on
right.
top
Remember
or something.
that was the Emerson Arcadia. You had your regular cartridge, then you had
Oh
these
yeah, they're
tall
ginormous.
cartridges.
I actually have one of those. Cartridges were like these ginormous, the size of a
Yep.
beer,
And actually, it's funny.
practically.
It came out around the time of the Colecovision, yet the graphics are worse than the 2600. Go figure.
Oh yeah,
Go figure.
probably. Yeah, yeah, exactly. So this project that was the reason Eric approached me is that he says, I want to put it on your site, and I said, hey, 100%, and I'm gonna make it free. I don't get anything out of this. I get zero. I don't want anything, and basically what I want is people to be able to create their game from A to Z and shove it in the ColecoVision, and
right.
they're done. It's there. It's instant. There's no, you'll have to get the PCBs done from a place that you trust, a Chinese place or whatever, and then 3D print your case, put the screws in, make a label, you're done. It fits in the
Real quick,
Coleco
I had a
plate.
couple of chats and I would read. Jamie, I hope I say his name right. I apologize. I'm Italian. I'm terrible with saying names. Jamie, I think Locken, says he has all the Coleco games on his analog Mega SG. A lot of fun games. We have, what do we have here?
Wait, 8-bit Millie a couple times there. He's got one building left, and he's 32K. He has 28K free still. He's got very tight code.
He does.
So that's cool.
We have Deputy Van Halen here. Hey, Glenn, I made Italian food.
I love that name, Deputy Van Halen.
You ordered pizza. Nice. Well, I want to thank you all you guys for coming here. And again, definitely just go over to Kickstarter and at least, give positive thoughts at least to Millie here and this Crazy Climber game. Again, he's already reached his backing level, but we want to bring him up even more. We want to make this game as best as we could possibly make it.
This is empowering an entrepreneur.
Yes. And
this is a person that wants to do it on
Yep.
his own steam,
Yep,
and I
and
respect that. That's the way I see it.
And just like
right?
you, Stephen, who's been a big advocate for the ColecoVision, they got this website. Millie's been doing that a lot as well. Not as public as you with your website.
I'm subscribed to his YouTube channel that he talks about more
Yes.
Atom stuff. Every once in a while he'll talk about Coleco.
Yep.
I'm
And if
subscribed,
people don't
you
know, you want to tell them what the Atom is? If people may not know what the Atom is.
I have no idea what the hell the Atom is. I don't have
Well,
one.
you know.
No, it's the computer that Coleco made. It was the competition to the Commodore
Right.
64, which
Right.
I had. Not
Well,
that
the beautiful
Atom
thing about
stuff,
the Atom
you know.
is it had it built in ColecoVision as well. So you got a computer system.
That's right.
And you either had the full Atom, which had everything built
Yep.
in one, or you had an expansion module. That was what's great about that ColecoVision.
It
That
was
expansion
huge,
module.
that
Now,
thing.
the funny thing is, honestly, aside from ColecoVision, other companies may have made some expansion things here and there, but Coleco went to town on expansion modules. They actually came out with them. They released an expansion module 1, which caused a huge stir in the industry, which is basically, it allowed you to play Atari 2600 games on the ColecoVision. Could you do that today with an Xbox playing PlayStation games? No.
Oh my God, there's suing going on and lawyers that
Right.
are happy.
Well, Atari did try and sue. Unfortunately,
They
well, they
settled out
had
of
to.
court,
The
I think, or something.
2600 was like 99% off the shelf parts. So they had no leg to stand on. The
That's
only
right.
one they had
Yeah.
they could was the TIA, the television interface chip. That was the only one that Coleco couldn't rightfully put in their machine. Yet they had it.
They reverse
They
engineered
didn't.
it,
But what
didn't
happened was another company did. Another
they? I thought they
company
did.
kind of reverse engineered it. It's a little murky there, but they sold it, so Coleco bought that. So Coleco is legally buying the stuff.
Oh, wow.
Now the company making the clone TIA, it's still never really been said if they actually just took a TIA and stamped their name on it, or they actually reverse engineered it. But
Oh, wow.
then Atari
Okay.
did.
Oh, by the way, somebody wants a link to Millie's
Yes,
Kickstarter campaign
it will
in
be.
the chat, by the way.
Actually, no, I
So
could put it in the chat, but I was going to put it in the end of the thing. But
we'll
we
hook
will.
you up there, Bobo
Get it
Starkiller.
over here. So you can talk a little bit more about what you were just talking about there. Well, I'm trying to get this link.
The cartridge shells and the whole homebrew thing, right? The Coleco homebrew stuff. And like I said, these shells, they're the reason I haven't, by the way, to explain to people, the reason I haven't released it just yet, the STL files, is that there's a couple misalignments in the cartridge shell. Nothing crazy, but we're tweaking a couple things like these posts to put in the screws. Well, one of them broke off, so we reinforced the plastic and that sort of thing. So it's coming soon, and essentially the STL file will be posted on Colecovision Attic, so everybody's going to be able to download it at their own will. And essentially, hopefully, people will make their own cartridges, and I'm excited to see what's going to be put out there.
Right.
in
The whole
future,
point of that
right?
is so people don't have to, take again cartridges. And again, once you buy something, you can do whatever you want. I'm a big advocate of if you buy
yeah,
it,
of course.
it's yours to do whatever you want. But of course, if you can save games from being sacrificed for a new cause.
You know what I personally think about that stuff is that you don't want the angry people showing up on your doorstep. If you don't care, you don't care. But I personally, be the first to admit, I bought a bunch of Donkey Kongs for $1 a piece, and I used them actually because I had some PCBs that were original, and what I did is I put them into those shells. But would I do it again now that the STL file is coming? No. I'll just print one and make a one-off, and that's it, right? So it's that simple. So the STL is
I think
coming,
Millie said that it's 32K, but he still has 28K free. So he's got room to put in blood. People taking pot shots from another building, maybe do another building. People trying to take pot shots at them. Like snipers.
Snipers or Kathleen Kennedy coming down.
That would be an awesome thing. Someone pushing Kathleen Kennedy out a window from the top. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, holding the little sign like the Wile E. Coyote from Bugs Bunny,
Help.
like has the sign help or something, and all the way. We had all. Me and Glenn are full of ideas. We're full of crap, but we're full of ideas.
Actually, I take my fiber, so I'm not too bad in that area.
Too much information. So basically that's that for the Coleco stuff. So to put that out there, essentially that stuff's coming. It's exciting. And the 32K, there's going to be a tutorial on the site too, how to burn your own EEPROM, all that stuff. So I'm going to have the list of parts, soldering, making a test board, that sort of thing, just to make it easy so that people aren't too familiar with EEPROM burning.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So basically that's it.
It's kind of good. I'm a big fan of ColecoVision, Vectrex, of course the Atari 2600, 5200, and people are making new games. A lot of times free. Sometimes it's free. If you go on Atari Age, if people have not been on AtariAge.com, you definitely want to go there because there's a lot of people making homebrews or modifying old games to make them better. And a lot of times the game ROM is free. A lot of times
that blows my mind.
Look at Pac-Man 8K.
People are doing that.
The Atari 2600 Pac-Man 8K.
Yep.
The guy did it, released it to the community, and it's phenomenal. I mean, I would have paid for that.
It's what it should have been.
I would have paid for that. And it still amazes me that the 2600 was actually capable of that game in that way. It's funny what you could do if you're not in a hot tub with naked women smoking pot and doing coke and actually programming instead. It's kind of amazing what you come up
Yeah,
with.
the Atari way. They should make a movie out of
You know
that.
what? They are actually Warner Brothers. Believe it or not, it's been like 10 years they've been working on a feature-length movie with Atari, and I think Leonardo
Oh yeah.
DiCaprio was tied in with that. And I guess Nolan Bushnell
Wow.
is they still been in talks. Nothing's happened with it, but I think at some point it's something that has to come out.
It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Retro is really big right now. I mean, stuff's selling like crazy. Just the whole. I have a friend of mine that's a collector. His name's Cam, not Cameron, but Cam. And basically, he's telling me that Colecovision games on eBay and everything are
Yep.
skyrocketing.
Yep,
Just like Boulder Dash went for $200.
that's crazy.
It's like that's and there's some games like what was it, Wizmath or whatever. It's ultra rare, and 7 of them show up, and they're selling for crazy amounts of money too.
What's
It's
even more
insane.
insane is because again, I know you're in Canada and I'm in the States, but I remember after the crash, $1 or $2. You went into like your Caldors or
Yeah.
any store. There's a bin of
Yeah, it was
$1
the
or
same
$2, and even then but it was funny. I would go, eh, because that's how bad we felt about the industry at that point.
The chip had sailed for us as kids, right? Like, look at my kids; they go from one game to the next. I'm sure your son goes from one game to the next,
No,
like my son.
Minecraft, Fortnite,
And
that's it. There's nothing else that the kid plays.
well, it's about the same here, but they sometimes will play all these different things, right? So they're constantly like my daughter, same thing. They'll play all kinds of stuff. So to me, we were the same as children, you know. Oh, look, a Commodore 64. Oh, look, a ColecoVision. Oh, look, I got this, I got that, and then you go to your friend's house, then you're crazy about that for 3 days straight. And
I actually lose a lot of friends over some things, like when I told Stephen and Doug that I never actually played Legends of Zelda because I've never actually owned a Commodore 64. And I know you've harped on me on that one. I don't have one. I never had one.
Well, Legend of Zelda is not on the Commodore 64.
No, I know that. I'm just saying I never played that game. I never owned a Commodore 64.
Oh, yeah. Like, me too. Legend of Zelda, I played a little bit, but did I finish it? No. I didn't grow up with the NES. I was riding dirt bikes at that point.
Exactly.
The Commodore 64, well, that was my, what was
TI.
the TI 99. Yeah. You either had an Atom, a Commodore 64, a TI, or what is it,
Oh,
the
the
Apple
Cocos.
II?
The Cocos are very popular as well.
Oh yeah, the
Trash 80s, yep.
as some people call it. Yeah, then my buddy had a TRS 80, and he'd tell me that it was better than a Commodore 64, and I'd chuckle.
Well, what's kind of weird about it,
You know.
the Trash 80, they had some really good coders because they made some games that I didn't think would be possible on that machine. Even like they had a game called, I think it was called King Kong or something along those lines, and it was a phenomenal Donkey Kong clone, better than pretty much anything anywhere else. And this one has 4 colors.
Really?
And, it doesn't have much sound, but it was a really good
Wow.
game. And they had their original Missile Command and even the old, remember the Model 1, the black and white ones? The very, very early ones? They had Zaxxon on there. They had Galaxian. It didn't look spectacular, but it just amazed me they had them at all.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, there's a question in the chat
Sure,
by Jamie. What's it say here? Glenn's Retro Show. In the next year, do you see retro gaming getting bigger, smaller, pretty much the same in its demand? I'm saying it's going to get, I won't say worse, bigger, as in there's going to be a higher demand. During COVID, I think everybody bought retro stuff to their heart's content.
Yeah, I still think
You know what I mean? You either that or you did renovations and the prices of lumber.
they
went
did.
through the roof,
And
you know what
actually
I mean?
right now my roof is being done. So I have guys out there right now. Fortunately, I didn't need any wood. It's just the shingles. So
Okay, good.
I was freaking
You're
out
safe.
because it was like $150 to $190 a sheet. I was like, oh my God.
Oh yeah, it's
Right.
insane.
But
But
Yeah.
to answer Jamie's question, I personally think that it's going to keep going up because our generation right now is the majority in a sense. Like our generation, the Generation X, are the
Right.
breadwinners, so to speak, in a sense. Until we retire, you're going to see that climb until we
Actually,
retire,
I think
and then
it'll always be there at this point. It's one of those things that it's not going to go away because as he said, get older, the games the younger people are growing up with will now be the retro games, and they'll start releasing them.
Yeah.
So the thing is, I think it will continue to grow. The problem is, I still don't know how big the market is for multiple companies. We have our Arcade 1-Ups, we have our At Games, we have New Wave Toys, we have Numbskull, we have Basic Fun.
I think some of those companies are going to dilute eventually because
there
there's
is
only so much.
But like the Super Impulse Tiny Arcades, which I love those things. Apparently, they're not making anymore. They made their models. No more new ones are coming out. I'm a little saddened about that because I really like those tiny arcades. And now My Arcade is stepping up their game. They started off with like their games having just NES ROMs in it. I guess they took Negan's word, or maybe Negan paid them a visit, and now they're using arcade ROMs in their Space Invaders. I want to say definitely the Street Fighter just came out, which is getting expensive. I just bought the Street Fighter from them, and it was $65 at Target. And I know Gen X grown-ups bought it maybe a month or two before I did. They got it for $50 at Target, so they raised the price. And online, it was over $80. And I'm like, at that price...
There's no consistency.
Well, it's not that, but I mean, it's nice. I mean, I appreciate My Arcade doing that. It has a link cable, but now you have to buy two. So if you want to play a friend, it's now $60 to $80 times two, where for like $99, plus shipping when they first do it, you get a New Wave Toys Street Fighter, which is 10 magnitude better.
I'm on the flip side of the whole thing for those type of things is that I could play Street Fighter 100 other places, whether it's on an original Xbox that's modded to my CPS2 boards, for Marvel vs. Capcom, Raspberry Pi, whatever. And if you really gotta really love that game to go out and buy that mini arcade, in my opinion. But
no,
and again,
yep,
Cammy,
I see it.
How often you're gonna play two-player of those?
First
things?
of all, hi Cammy. She always comes on the show. I really appreciate when she comes on, and she's right. In my case, in this household, it is just me. My son would never play these games.
Oh yeah, like I take out the Colecovision and my son runs in the other direction. It's like, oh, bye, see ya, and that's it. It's too bad. He'll play the Xbox 360. That's as nostalgic as it gets for him. Is the Xbox 360 with Guitar Hero and DJ Hero and Rock Band and all that stuff, and he's really enjoying those, which is fine. So it's you know what I mean.
You know what we need?
So
here's an idea. I'm giving Millie or someone out there $1 million idea. And maybe I'll do it myself. We need to make a 9-pin internet-connected joystick. So I could play Colecovision as player 1, and Stephen could have my joystick player 2 go over the internet, and we could play that way. Now, Cammy, now I can play 2 players. I'm in here, he's in Canada, playing Colecovision through my internet-enabled 9-pin joystick. What do you think, Stephen?
I think it's good. There'd be maybe some synchronization issues, but you never know.
Hey, Glenn, it's not working. I didn't plug you. I didn't unplug you because you were winning.
I'll tell you another
idea. I didn't
idea.
plug your joystick because you were winning. Don't worry about that.
I don't know what this interference is all about. I don't know what that is. It's unplugged. But you know what other idea I had, and this is $1 million idea for somebody, a smart engineer. There seems to be always an issue with ROM cartridges and people pirating their crap and all that stuff, and a cartridge that would connect over Wi-Fi to the publisher's website, and you'd have a subscription there, and it'd be encrypted, and it would play on the machine itself. You go through the menu, you put in your login info, and it plays whatever you want.
Are you trying to make my stuff DLC content, Stephen? No, sure. I should turn your channel off right now. I don't go for that DLC content.
Yeah, no, my buddy Jason's on. Hey, give him a plug. If you go to his YouTube channel, Saber Gaming, you'll see the nice intro that I did for him. But he plays the survival stuff, the stuff that tortures you.
He's got kids.
Yeah, he's got kids, and he plays the games where it's like you have a match. It has to last you to the end of the game, the match, or the stick, or whatever, But he's good people. Him and I have a lot of fun. We talk Star Wars stuff, which we could probably
do that too.
About
but before we talk Star Wars, we got to talk about one more thing: the Intellivision Amico.
Oh yeah. Well, first of all, Glenn today found out that Tommy Tallarico is cousins with Steve
Did not know that.
Tyler from Aerosmith. They're cousins, legit cousins. If you go to Wikipedia, you'll see his last name's Tallarico, and he's admitted that's his
I had
cousin.
no idea.
They're in the music business together.
I said
Kinda
that's
cool.
the Amico.
It'd be
When you
nice to
turn
have
that
a nice
Amico, it's
relative
got to
like
go,
that.
welcome to the Amico! It's got to be
Yeah.
Steven Tyler doing that for him.
And have his picture of him looking like an old woman, a bag lady or something. But you know what? There's been some flack from what I understand. I just saw it this morning that I'm not going to name this guy's YouTube channel because that's what he wants. He wants people to just go over to his YouTube channel. Anyways, this dude bashed on it because the CPU in the Amico is relatively low. Cell phones have my iPhone SE has way more horsepower than the Amico. But guess what? It's not geared to people like the
PS5.
the guy that's
Xbox
going to buy a
One.
PS4, PS5 console. It's not. It's meant for grandma, grandpa, and the code is optimized for that CPU, and that's it. It's meant to load fast and have low overhead and everything.
It's a party games machine. It's to get your family
It
involved.
is.
It's not to play, I don't know, Tom Clancy's,
Halo or Doom Eternal or
butt munch
yeah.
murders or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's exactly it. And in my opinion, don't buy it. I'm not going to buy it just yet because I'm waiting to see the software that's coming out. The one that I'm interested in is Moon Patrol. I played it on the phone. They had released a little
cool.
demo. It looks cool, and it starts at $2.99
now think
too.
about
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
How much the
Not
Amico start off
expensive.
at? How much? $2.99.
Well,
Now, think about what
$2.99
you're
is
getting.
what the Rexer show
Think about
says,
what you're getting with that, and think about what the Atari VCS cost people, and it doesn't do anything.
Oh,
so think
yeah,
about
yeah.
that, people.
I've been watching a few YouTubers talk about like the VCS and 6 months later and what they have it. Everybody seems to think that their store is upside down. Essentially, it's I haven't seen it. It's just but either way, for $300 US,
Yep.
so let's say $350 Canadian, it's not a bad deal. And the games on there, from what I understand from Tommy, they're going to be in the neighborhoods of about $10 or something. Yeah, they're not going to be like AAA $80 titles like Mario Golf that's just came out and Doom Eternal, all that stuff. It's not going to be that. And I don't understand the mentality that somebody just rambles off like this and doesn't really understand the audience it's actually built for. A Doom guy is not going to go buy this thing. He's going to go buy an Xbox One, or a PS5 or whatever. He's going to go buy the latest, greatest piece of hardware.
I think about it this way.
The
Arcade One Up had released their Infinity table, which is basically just a table to play, party games on.
I saw that.
To me, that's what the Amico is. It's really just a game where people come over to the house, maybe having a holiday party or something like that. You pull out the Amico, you plug it in,
that's exactly
put in a couple of party games, and you turn into strip poker. I mean, to me, that's a win, right?
Yeah, exactly. Grandma has a heart attack.
Oh, well, if Grandma's there, I don't know. Okay, but none of that strip.
No strip poker.
No, I didn't realize Grandma was going to be there. Right. But if the younger crowd's there, then that's okay. Not too young. keep it over 18.
But ultimately, they seem to have, like, from what I've seen on, it wasn't the E3 preview they had. It was some other, and I've been keeping up with this. Brett Weiss has been covering it pretty good. He's been an advocate for it, and I like to hear both sides. And from what I understand, there's going to be games on there for almost everyone. It's not going to be, you're not going to find Halo or Doom on there, but you're going to find, reimagined Moon Patrol or reimagined Blackjack or whatever.
Think about your cell
Monopoly
phone. I mean, everyone's got a cell phone. Almost all, not all, but almost all the games are quick play games, right? You pop it up, Bejeweled or a tic-tac-toe style game, right? That's what it's going to be about. You sit down, it's a game you can just pick up and play really quick with a bunch of people.
Yeah, it's couch co-op. It's not. There's going to be, I think, some online stuff, but I don't think at launch it's going to have like an Xbox Live type of experience where whatever. But you're going to be. It's couch co-op. So the person beside you, you can yell at them and call them a stupid bastard or whatever. and that's it. Like that's what it's couch co-op. It's trash talking and having fun and having a beer, and it's there. It's cool.
Right.
That's what
And
it's
also,
all
I want
about.
to say hi to the
You know?
Rexer Show. The Rexer Show joined us. Everyone, again, if you're not subscribed, you need to get on the Rexer Show's channel and subscribe to him.
Yeah, he's the one been informing us on the price of the Amico.
Right.
So kudos to him. Yeah. So yeah, at the end of the day, it's not for people. Like it or not, it's meant for me and my wife, you and your girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like it's meant for people our age with limited time to play, and we want something that we have fun on a social level, not a detached level in a sense, right? So that's what the game, and he's made that clear. It's not like he's been on there going, "Hey, this is a rockin' cell phone,
10
killer,"
billion
whatever.
polygons per microsecond.
Yeah, he never said any of that stuff, you know. So why, if that guy's disappointed, more power to him. He's disappointed. Tough luck, you know. It's go cry a river somewhere and let the rest of us enjoy it if we want it.
It's not even
If
released
we don't
yet.
want it,
so,
we don't want it.
You know, let it get out there.
Exactly.
And he's making a very unlike, and I'm an Atari guy, you know I am, but unlike Atari,
Yep.
they're bringing in third parties and getting content where the Atari VCS really has got nothing. And I still feel I feel bad for like a lot of my friends and fellow YouTubers bought it, and I did not. I know that well, at least 5 of them bought it. I felt bad because they spent $300 or $400 on a device that really is a case.
They played on the nostalgia strings with that
Right.
console, in my opinion. They made it look with the wood grain finish. The joystick had that.
Oh, it's a great looking
OG
machine.
Atari 2600.
Yeah, it looks really nice. But you know, when you buy a game console, what's the first rule of game console, Stephen?
Software.
That's it.
If you got really look at the Wii, it to me was the perfect example of teaching people that lesson. The Wii was underpowered and everything like that. Well, guess what? The damn thing sold like hotcakes. It blew away sales of the 360. Microsoft was wondering what the hell just happened. You know, that kind of stuff. And look at the Switch. The Switch isn't powerful. The Wii U wasn't powerful.
Don't bring up the Wii U. That didn't do too well.
Yeah, the Wii U, they want to forget about it. But if you look at the Switch, it's not crazy powerful. It's powerful, but it's not
It's
like
powerful compared
insane.
to an Intellivision. It's powerful compared to
Well, that's
that.
exactly
But it's not
it.
powerful next to a next gen machine. But it's the games that make it. If you make good games, people are going to
That's
buy the hardware. They are.
Well, look at it this way: the Switch sales when Animal Crossings came out went through the roof. People bought a new Switch Lite just for Animal Crossings. That's crazy to me. So it's exactly the same thing. It's about the games. Look at Donkey Kong on the Colecovision. It packed and shipped.
Well,
with
you
Donkey
need the killer
Kong.
app, and from what I understand, the
That's
PS5 still doesn't have a killer app. I don't have one, but people keep telling me there is no like killer app on the PS5. But you need that killer app.
God of War tends to be that somewhat of a poster child. Ratchet and Clank, those two. The Xbox has got the Halo franchise. Mario, of course, on the Nintendo side of things, and Zelda and that first party stuff. But it's not about power. It's about the games, the games, the games, the games. It's always about the games, and you can have the underpowered system, but if the games are rocking it, hey, look at Minecraft. Minecraft 2 is another example. The game looks childish, but you get in there and you're addicted to it like crack.
And like you said, historically, the most powerful hardware was never the most popular. You know, you had the Intellivision and Atari. Atari still beat the Intellivision. You had the NES, you had the Sega Master System. NES took the cake there.
This is not news for anybody watching the show, obviously, but it's history repeating itself over and over again, right? So that's...
And Jamie asked another question here in the chat. He says he agrees with us, but do we think it can still run into issues where developers stop developing games because the install base is not big enough? And of course, that's always a concern.
Yeah,
that's always a concern. Look at the Atari Jaguar. I mean, that came out. You know, they had really no one outside of Atari. They had a couple of developers, and again, the Jaguar, also the machine, it really didn't reach its potential. It had potential. They didn't have developers, and Atari really didn't support them that well, and that's really what killed that whole thing. Yeah. And that's not the first time it's happened. You know,
At the end of the day, I wish the Amico Tommy, that the whole camp over there, luck with this thing, because the approach is good in my opinion. Delivery seems to be okay, but people are going to get hung up
Right.
on the specs, and I hope they don't, because at the end of the day, if the games are
Right.
rocking,
And
it
fun.
could be the slowest
Yeah.
piece of crap CPU on there. As long as people are
Yep.
having fun, they don't care. Like I said, the Wii. Nobody cared that the Wii was less powerful than the Xbox 360.
Right.
They didn't care. They were like, "Hey, I'm having fun with Wii Bowling or Wii Sports."
Still my
You know,
favorite
they're
game.
bowling and throwing Wiimotes into the TV, and yeah, I've seen those videos. Yeah, that's the whole idea. It's about the games, and then all the Mario stuff
Right.
on the Wii. Like, I mean, Mario Kart on the Wii. People bought the Wii just for
Right.
Mario Kart. Think about it. And it was a very underpowered system, but guess what? People
'Cause they were
played
fun.
the games till the
They were
cows
fun.
came home. That's right.
All right, so
Yeah.
now we had something else we did want to talk to, and some Star Wars stuff, right? We wanted to get into some Star Wars. Can't leave that out.
You and I go on about Star Wars like we're literally those two guys from the Muppet Show standing up on the balcony yelling. Yeah, it's we literally, you and I both subscribe to that Overlord DVD guy with the mask.
So he's the future
And,
ruler of the earth. We got to subscribe to him. He's going to be our
Yeah,
boss
that's
one
right.
day.
I don't like his sidekick in the
Oh, I
glass
do.
jar that talks
Well,
like
thought
really
through,
bad there.
yeah, no, I
but,
like him. He's good. Harvey. That's Harvey.
But you know what? He finds the dirt on stuff, and I really hope that the stuff I'll say announced, or the rumors, that sort of thing, are true, because they're going to cancel legitimately the sequels. That's what I heard. Favreau and Filoni are gunning to get that non-canon,
it's easy to do.
basically.
Look at
Put it in
That's
an
it.
alternate universe, kind of like
Yep.
they do with everything else, and just say, yeah, that was a different
Yep.
timeline, and the Emperor screwed around
Yep.
with it, or whatever. He's dead, that sort of thing. But if that woman is out and she doesn't manage to screw up Indiana Jones, hopefully with the miracle
hearing some bad things about that.
Oh yeah. Well, Harrison Ford apparently got
On purpose.
hurt. Poor guy.
Bang! I broke my arm. I can't
Probably-
do anymore. I got to go.
Oh, there's been some bad talk on the internet. I'm out. So, but that whole scenario, if they can salvage, have you been watching The Bad Batch? at all?
Except for tonight's episode, yes, I have been.
Okay, what do you think of that?
I always have a problem when they have a kid as a focus. You have these shows and the kid becomes the focus. I do like the show, and I don't want to spoil anyone who maybe hasn't watched it yet. But I do like the era that it's in. It's just Order 66 just happened. They're clones, and they're trying to figure out what the heck's happened. They've been having some issues with the Order 66.
They can't trust
Right.
everybody. They're
Right.
trusting the other clones. Which one is with the Emperor?
Right.
Which
There
one
was
is not.
there was
I
one
like that
episode
tension,
where,
you know.
again, I'm going to say one thing. I hope you guys don't mind, but like Rex showed up. Rex came into the show, and he finds something out about their chips. He's like grabbing his gun. You still have the chips in your head? And he's like, he's ready to kill him because he knows what's going to happen.
Rex. We're not talking about the Rex
No,
show.
no,
guy,
no, Rex
by
is
the
good.
way.
Rex- yeah.
For half a second, I thought you were
No.
talking about him. You mean the Rexer show's got a chip in his head? Holy crap!
So I do
Anyways,
like that.
keep going.
Again, the kid aspect of it for me, it's a kid show. I get it.
Yeah.
Just for me, like V, the first miniseries was great. Then you had V
Yes,
returns,
yes,
and
yes,
the
yes.
kid is like 2 years old and,
Yep.
and saves the world.
Yeah, that's a little overpowered.
Right.
OP. Yeah. It's but I like the premise. The I don't even know if that's a little girl or a little boy at
I
this
think it's supposed to
point,
be a
but
girl.
It looks
I
like
think
a
it's a
little
girl.
girl. I think it's a girl, but a lot of people are theorizing that's Boba Fett's sister clone. That's
Yeah, I
what
don't want
people
to.
are theorizing,
yeah.
that she is the female version.
Yeah, this
of
show is
Boba
going to give
Fett in
spoilers
this.
out there, I guess. And from what I'm understanding, yes, that's potentially what's being hinted at on the show.
It'd be cool. It'd be all right if I'm okay with that. Those clone people are pretty
Yep,
crafty.
yep.
So
And that's what I do
you know.
like about it, because the Caminos, they're kind of focusing on Camino, like what happened to them. They're the ones who made all the clone army. And
That's a
and
nice story
in the,
that
yeah,
we all
well, in
wanna
the
know about,
expanded
in my
universe before Disney took over, Vader and the 501st went there to wipe out the Caminos because they didn't want them to make an army against
More
the
clones.
Empire. And the Caminos had
Gotcha.
their own clones loyal to them, and there was a whole it was a great storyline. So I'm kind of hoping that
Oh wow,
that kind of works out
makes a
in
comeback
this.
maybe.
That's what I'm kind of hoping for. It's looking that way because the Caminos are realizing that Empire is not in their best interest, yet they kind of helped make this happen.
Well, you know what? Grand Moff Tarkin showed up, and he started rocking
Right.
the boat a little bit. So, no spoilers for everybody, but basically, overall, I like it. It's not the best Star Wars TV show,
But it's
but
also
pretty
just its
good. I
first
mean,
season.
there's some.
What does really good is first
Yeah,
season.
exactly. They're still developing that whole unknown
Right.
story, right? That whole. I think that's pretty cool. So I really hope that they get rid of the sequel trilogy, and they press the reset button on that. And I hope Gina Carano comes back to play her character. I hope they shoot her a full pile of money to
I think
come
she would come back
and
if Kathleen
develop
Kennedy
that
got fired.
character.
I think she would come back at even a loss just to rub in her face that she's here.
Just to make
And
it, yeah,
Kathleen Kennedy's
exactly.
one of the reasons she got booted was for what she did to her. That would be good. And again, from what I'm hearing here, I mean, Kathleen Kennedy's become pretty quiet. I mean, almost like it doesn't exist at all. And Overlord DVDs basically said that the Civil War that's been going on for a while is starting to really
Good,
take over.
good.
And Filoni and Favreau are really in the driver's seat, and I'd be happy. I'd be very happy with that. I would. Again, it's not that
Oh yeah,
she's a
me too.
woman.
Those
I
two
want
guys have killed
this
it.
is not
Like,
against her being a woman. I could care less who ran it.
oh no, God, no! It could have been, Carl Kennedy
Right.
for all we knew.
Well,
You
the
know
thing is,
what I
when
mean?
she first
The
took it
male
over,
version.
I watched the interview she did with Lucas, and she says, "I'm going to treat the characters, the way they're supposed to be treated." And she has
With
respect, and
blah,
she's
blah, blah.
done
She did not
such
know
a
that.
180 on
Nothing.
all of it, and shit
Yep.
on all the fans. In my opinion, okay, you may have everyone's entitled to their opinion. My
Yep.
personal
Yeah,
opinion
yeah.
is that she has basically crapped all over the legacy of Star Wars, and if they have any hope of making money, and Disney could care less. Disney cares about the money. They don't care about the fans, other than the money they're making from the fans.
I know what
this is
happened.
real quick. Who's buying the merchandise? Has anyone bought episode 7, 8, 9 merchandise? Nobody has bought that merchandise. Nobody.
Some, but very little.
Okay,
enough to not
three
make
three
anymore.
dollars out of hundreds of millions of dollars they could have made.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree. No, I know what happened. The first movie, The Force Awakens, that
Oh, you mean
basically made
episode
a ton of money
4?
because
You
everybody
mean
was
episode 4
desperate.
retold? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, exactly. In the alternate universe, and basically it made a lot of money. So it went to her head probably at that point. When I got this, I made a ton of money for the company. I'm Miss Popular, and then she just went ballistic, right? Because she had the two guys that were doing the solo movie, and came in and like, nope, I don't like this. Goodbye. And then it was dumbed down by Ron
Right.
Howard. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate Richie Cunningham.
He did Apollo 13.
I
You have to like him.
remember. Oh, I'm surprised he didn't put I got my thrills. Anyways, for the Happy Days fans out there that remember that show. But yeah, I think when you and I have talked about this numerous times, but when okay, I'm not spoiling it there, but if you didn't watch the last episode of The Mandalorian,
By now, you have
by
to
now,
watch it. Tough.
yeah, you need to go watch it. But when they brought Luke back, and the internet lit up like a Christmas tree, and there was people crying, they were so happy, and to me, they
Yep.
nailed it. They just nailed it. They Favreau and Filoni understood everybody at that point. That's what I'm hoping, that they get that person out of there, put Favreau and Filoni in charge, and away they go and make they redeem themselves, or they
Right.
fix the
Well, the whole-
broken.
Yeah.
And that's what happens with CEOs. They pick up a mess from the previous person. Microsoft with the previous Don Matrick, he left a mess, and then poor Phil Spencer was stuck picking up the pieces, kind of thing. Oh, Microsoft is going to be calling me tomorrow, crank calls, for saying that, but that's what I believe. When that guy was there, he broke Microsoft and the Xbox, and Phil Spencer fixed it all. And this is what has happening to Star Wars.
Well,
Kennedy broke
that's
it.
the
They're
big
gonna
thing
fix it.
is that the like Star Wars, like Star Trek. Star Trek to me is dead, and Star Wars is for the most part almost dead. Like the Bad Batches and the Mandalorian at least are holding me onto that. But Star Trek's
Yeah,
got
yeah.
what? The Star Trek Discovery. I mean, that's between.
I watched Picard last.
It
It
was
was okay. It
okay,
wasn't
but
great, but it
even
was
in Picard,
okay.
he was apologizing for every single thing he did in his series. You know, so yeah, between the Kelvin timeline, between Discovery and Picard, for the most part, Star Trek is dead for me. I don't know what they'll ever be able to do to fix that one. But Star Wars has a
I don't
hope.
know. I never really followed Star Trek that much. I was into Voyager when not when it was live, but when I went back to watch it. I enjoyed Voyager. I enjoyed
Yeah, see,
Enterprise.
I
That
liked
wasn't too bad.
Enterprise. That they killed off soon.
The last season sucked, but the beginning was good. It was a good premise. It was a good idea. It
Well, the last
was,
episode sucked in Enterprise. That's for sure. They botched that one.
well, the last 3 or 4, you're wondering what the hell are they smoking over there, right? So, and people still like the next generation.
Well, that's
You
it.
know, like if you brought
That's
back
it, though.
Data and Number One
Watching
and all those guys,
Picard,
hey,
it's linked to Next Generation, and it's like, what the hell are they doing here? This doesn't make any sense at all. The Next Generation in
yeah,
Star Trek was always supposed to be a positive future. Yeah, there's a problem here and there, but overall, the Federation and everything there is, positive. We're all working together, and all these
yeah,
new series here, it's darker than like Nightmare on Elm Street. It's like, what the hell am I watching?
yeah, yeah. Jason, my buddy, he's like, yeah, the last few movies were brutal. The first 2 were good, but the new crew, he's talking about Enterprise on
Right.
the last line there. But I'm not a big Star Trek fan. I don't hate it. I'll watch it if it comes on. I prefer the next generation characters.
Well, they
You know
still
what I mean?
they haven't like. There's potential. There's potential, but
Yes,
the
there is.
show like
That's the thing.
Discovery, where it's just like they're taking all the canon and just like slapping it in your face like it's a wet piece of deer turd, and on the fans. That's what Star Wars is doing right now as well. To the original fans, and to be honest, it's the original fans are spending money on products and the movies and rebuying the next one CGI change in a scene, buying a whole new TV set over again. We kept it alive,
That's
and they're
crazy.
going, "Oh, thanks. By the way, here's some deer poop. There, smash it in your face because we don't care."
Yeah. Does Paramount still own that franchise?
Star Trek, uh,
Yeah, I
Paramount,
think it's
Paramount,
Paramount that owns it.
Viacom, Paramount, Viacom. So yeah, CBS. It's all
Oh yeah,
one, and
okay.
that's the problem. CBS owns like 70% of it. Paramount owns like 30%. So when they do a show,
Hmm.
Paramount's making the show, but they can only use 30% of the original property of it, which is why they got to change the ships, they got to change designs. So they're shooting themselves in the foot because
It's a
exactly,
half-baked
and it's
thing.
like why? It's like
Yeah,
why?
yeah,
Because
yeah,
corporate
yeah.
greed. And guess what's happening? People not buying Star Trek products either.
Wow.
No one's buying. I know Cammy did, and Cammy, I get. Well, you did, so that's okay. But on a whole, people are not buying, Star Trek Discovery toys, Star Trek Discovery DVD sets. No one's buying it. Nobody. And I highly doubt.
Merchandising, like I don't know any friends as when I was growing up that had Star Trek stuff. The only Star Trek thing that I remember friends having is the gun with the little discs that
Yeah.
would fly.
Well, what else? What else did
That's
you need?
the only thing I
What else did you need?
remember. But that's it.
I had Space 1999
Like there was
stuff. I had
nothing
that
else.
same gun with the same little discs it shot. I mean, that's what you got in the 70s and early 80s. That's what you got.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, exactly. We got 8-bit Brian says Star Trek was great. Awesome run up through Enterprise. Calling Shell did. Yeah, it
Yeah.
totally did. I like Glenn's I have to admit, Glenn's the bigger Star Trek fan here. I don't hate it by any means. I pick and choose my Star Trek. There was a co-op Xbox 360 game of Star Trek that had come out that had what was it? It was like Spock. It was based on the movies, Spock and Captain Kirk. It was almost like Army of Two. And I don't know if it ever got released. I saw it at E3 one year, and I was like, "Hey, that's pretty cool." It was like, you played as Spock, and you used his mind
Right.
melding stuff, and then you ran behind stuff. Then Kirk was more of the military brute run and gun kind of thing. And I don't know if they've ever released that game. It was it called Klingon Academy? Oh no, Jason saying Klingon Academy was good. There's some good
There were.
games out there for that
Yep.
stuff, for Star Trek. It was pretty good, and Star Wars had its fair share of decent games too, and there was a lot of
Right.
shit games too.
But there were definitely more
But
better.
overall, it's
I think there were
yeah,
a lot more better Star Wars, games that have been released than turds. But I can't say it about the movies. I mean, the original three for me will always be the best. But I do thank Kathleen Kennedy because to me, she made the prequels almost as gold as the originals in comparison to what
yeah,
she's
that's
turned
right.
out.
Everybody was like so
Yeah.
happy to go
With the
back.
exception of Rogue One. Rogue One, it was
It
decent.
was decent.
It
I
was
like
decent,
that.
and actually, even
Yeah.
the Solo one wasn't horrible. I know people were expecting more, but it was just telling stuff we knew. But that was the whole point of the movie, telling what.
Well, that's you and I
Yeah,
had that discussion. Solo answered the question, and having Darth Maul show up,
yeah,
okay, but it was kind of like, okay, how did he meet Chewbacca?
yeah.
Hey, okay, he met him like that. Oh, what is it? The
Right.
Kessel Run in what 12
That's what.
parsecs or what? Oh,
But
that's what
that's
it
what you
looks like.
expect in the
Okay,
first
cool.
movie. I mean, that's what you would. It's
Yeah, yeah.
his origin story. That's what you expect. So I don't think it deserved as much hate that it got. I don't know if it needed like 5 directors and finally going to Tom Howard and 90% of the movie being rewritten 2 days before it's being released. I don't know if it needed all that,
Yeah, that was insane for
but
nothing.
those were okay.
No,
But
it's
the Skywalker saga, episode 7, 8, 9, in no way in hell is the end of the Skywalker saga. Skywalker saga ended in
no.
episode 6 because
They should go back to the books. I don't know why they did that with the books that they took them out of canon because there were some good stories there with Luke getting married and with um, the Sith
right,
assassin that worked we'll say was raised by the Emperor or whatever, but he ended up marrying her and all that stuff, and it would have made way better
right,
story than the crap that they
right.
pumped out. Don't get me wrong, I like Daisy Ridley and her movies and her acting. She's a great actress, but poor girl ended up in these hated movies. I didn't
Well, no,
mind Force Awakens, but after that it was
no, it
a
was
slippery
funny.
slope.
And in Force Awakens, like I in the theater, I enjoyed it. I watched it. I'm like, this is really good. And then after
Yeah,
the
me
theater,
too.
I'm like thinking about it. Wait, I just paid to watch episode 4 again. I mean, this, right.
Better
So I
graphics.
started like, okay, but I could watch it. Like I've watched it like 3 or 4 times, three
Yeah,
or four
Mara
times.
Jade. That's right.
Last
Yeah,
Jedi,
their Cammy and Jason were saying
yep.
Mara Jade was
And Last Jedi, I've watched once, and I will never watch it again. And in the Rise of Skywalker, once.
once.
7, 8, 9, the
Yeah, me
prequels,
too.
I've watched hundreds of times, and I'll continue to watch them. That's the point I'm trying to make.
Yep.
I saw
I'm
it
the
once.
same
I will
way.
never watch them again. There's no replay value for me.
Yep. No, it's true. It's there's nothing to bring you back to watch these movies and love them. And it's too bad. It's unfortunate because there's so much potential there. It's almost like they didn't have any original
But they
ideas.
did.
It was
They
weird.
had hundreds, like I said, hundreds of books they took out of
books.
canon.
Yeah,
And Kathleen
yeah,
Kennedy had the
yeah,
I
yeah.
don't want to say the B word, the balls word, but to say we had nothing to go by. We had to come up with a new story.
Yeah,
She had
whatever.
tons of material she could have used.
Uh, like Canto Bite, and you could have had something else instead. Oh, come on. You know what I mean? Like the whole Canto Bite scene. Like I've seen The Last Jedi, I think. I seen it once at the theater. I watched it again because my wife wanted to see it, and I didn't like it any better. And I think after that, it was, I don't know, And then the last one, I saw it once, and I saw it a second time because I couldn't process the whole movie because there was so much crap crammed into that movie. You're kind of watching it again going, oh, I missed that. Oh, look at that. I missed that. And I think they did
I
that
had the
on
opposite
purpose.
effect, Stephen. I watched it, and I think my mind just shut down, and it just blocked
Probably.
it out.
Yeah. Well, mine tried to absorb it. It was kind of like my nose was bleeding and trying to just absorb all that information with toothpicks opening my eyes. And it was bad. Like I have no interest to
None.
go back. And I've watched, I'm not kidding. I've watched the last episode of The Mandalorian.
Yep, I
About
would
10
say I probably
times.
beat you on that one because it's good.
Since
It's good.
December there. That's pretty good for me.
It's just
You
it's
know?
just good. And to watch that scene, and there was emotion in
Yep.
there, and it was powerful, and there was a
Yep.
connection, and it made sense. You didn't see anyone go like this. You see
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
go like this and pull out a lightsaber that someone just put behind their back. What? What? Force
Yep.
transmission? What? Come on.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, right? And it was almost the whole three. Anyways, uh, let's hope to wrap this up. I don't want to
Yep.
totally wrap it up, but let's hope that they do the right thing, Favreau and Filoni, and give us the Star Wars that we want in the
Yep. And
near
let's hope that
future.
Indiana Jones 5 is not a complete train wreck.
I have a feeling it will be, but it's a gut feeling I've got. Usually, that's usually what happens. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, dude, c'est la vie, as they say. So, as far as anything else, what else have I been playing? Oh, PC games. You don't play PC games, but
I do.
Jason
I play all
knows
my
this. I've been
emulators
playing
on
the
PC, so
crap.
therefore I play PC games.
Yeah, I've been playing the crap out of Valheim. Holy Moses, that has been eating up my life. It's such a good game. If you guys go check it out, go check it out. It's pretty good.
Now it's a PC.
It's a
Is it
pretty
a
good
PC
survival.
game? Is it on phone as well? Or it's just PC?
Yep. No, strictly PC. I think it's on Steam OS, and it's in early access right now. And it's basically Minecraft for grown-ups. Basically, that's the way I'm seeing it. The world is huge in this thing, and it looks great. The weather effects. I find myself in this game just sitting there, looking up, and just watching the weather. That's how good this game looks. And you don't need a crazy machine.
Wait, you mean you could use like
know.
an Amico class machine for this game?
Yeah, right. Yeah, you could totally get away with it on the Amico, sure. Yeah, Jason knows that it's been sucking the life out of me, basically. But it is a fun game, and these guys have sold 6-point-something million copies
Wow.
of that game, and it's in early access since February.
Oh,
It's
and we
crazy.
have Michael B, the Game Genie. Want to say hello to Michael and Jason and Linux lovers. We have some people who joined in the group, so I want to say hi to you guys.
I don't know a lot of these guys, but Michael.
He's a
B,
Canadian. How could you not? There's like
that's what
5
I'm gonna say.
Canadians
Is that
in the
guy
world.
with
How
all
do you
the
not know him?
arcades in the back? Well, we're not next door. I live in north, like straight north of Ontario. So, but basically, if I remember, Michael B has all those arcade one-ups in the back there. He's standing, and it's like
He
tunnel vision.
actually
of,
got his wife to join him on a live stream to talk about his addiction, which was kind of cool.
Hi, my name is Michael.
I have a problem.
I have a problem. That's the thing, right? So my wife has just ignored me over the years with my game stuff. It's just like.
But a lot of
okay,
your stuff's is in your garage, right? Not in the house.
No, I have a mini arcade room, which is kind of it's a split level house that I live in. So there's multiple floors, and in the bottom part, my arcade sits in there with my Neo Geo. One
Jealous.
slot, my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
Jealous.
4-player, my MAME cabinet, my Miss
Jealous.
Pac-Man, which I will never sell, and my Marvel vs. Capcom machine. So my son has set himself up in there with the Xbox 360 and a projector, and he's been playing Rock Band and Guitar Hero. So that arcade room is our little playroom, and they can crank up the music and all that stuff. So his stuff takes up half the house. Jason, don't make me drive to your house. Don't make me disclose things about you, Jason, and your addiction to gaming. Anyways, his office is amazing. Okay, well that's good. All right, there's a lot of stuff here for sure, but yeah, I mean, that's the thing, right? We love this stuff, and it consumes our lives and our homes, and that's what makes us who we are, right? Like Glenn, you've got a Zaxxon,
Love that.
right?
Yeah, one of my favorite machines.
You've got a MAME cabinet, and you've got like a bunch of those mini arcades
18.
that I don't know who the individual got you addicted to that stuff. Shame on him.
Yeah. Now that you're bringing that up, so let's talk about that real quick. So I was originally collecting like game consoles, and things of that nature, and then Steven is like, well, I got these little Coleco Donkey Kongs and other stuff, and I started buying them, and the next thing I knew, I spent thousands of dollars getting, all the Coleco minicades, all these ancient, VFD screen. Now that's where the room went. All these really tiny consoles. That's his fault right here.
Next thing I know, he has a picture of all of them on his stairs. And he's showing them to me. Hey, look, thanks. And it's like, oh, man. You know what? I do not have a single arcade one-up machine. None.
Not yet. Well, in all fairness, Michael B spends. They're expensive in Canada. I mean, it's a top dollar for them.
Well, I've seen them all over the map. Like the Star Wars, I saw it was like almost $650 at the Brick. It's called the Brick. It's like a furniture store or
Michael
whatever.
B's got a direct credit card to the Brick. Oh yeah.
Oh, does he? Okay. And I've seen them other ones that are $3.99. Right. So you got the Star Wars one that'll, take you to the cleaners, and then you've got, let's say, a Street Fighter that nobody wants that's $3.99 or $2.99 or whatever. And for me, I just, the one arcade machine I am looking for is Cliffhanger. It's a old Laserdisc game. This game here, which I am making a mini Cliffhanger eventually. We'll show that on another episode eventually, but basically it's my favorite Laserdisc game, and I just spoke to an individual that didn't come out too good. I'm watching the live feed, and that paper I held up didn't show up too good. But Cliffhanger is a nice Laserdisc game. I mean, you like Dragon's Lair, obviously.
Yeah, actually, I like love Astron Belt. That's a good
Sega,
one, I believe, did that one.
Yes, I'm pretty sure.
There were a couple good ones. There were good ones, and they got such a bad rap because of the ports on the Sega CD and the TurboGrafx 16 CD.
What was the one with the helicopter?
Cobra Command.
Something Cobra.
Is
it Cobra Command? Yeah, that one wasn't too bad. It was almost like Blue Thunder a little bit. That's what it felt like playing. For those of you youngins out there who know Blue Thunder, you might know the actor in there, Roy Schneider. Not the guy from Saturday Night Live. I'm talking the dude from Jaws.
Yep. Or 2010: A Space Odyssey.
Or Sequest.
Sequest. He was
in Sequest. Yeah, Sequest. And I mean, that game felt like you were flying around Blue Thunder. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with helicopters. Yep. I was obsessed. I saw Blue Thunder, and then on the Commodore 64, and probably on the TI-99 was Raid on Bungling Bay.
I do remember that game. How do you know that game? Yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
How do I know it? I got it on the Commodore 64, and it was about a helicopter.
So you must have played, what was that game? Choplifter.
Oh, yeah. Choplifter. Those, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a helicopter pilot, and I never pursued that. I never trusted technology a few thousand feet up in the air. That was my big fear. But basically, I was obsessed with helicopters, so that Cobra Command game was up there. I didn't get to see it much because it would go in an arcade and disappear. Right. You know what I mean? It was gone, just like Cliffhanger. And I hadn't seen a Cliffhanger arcade machine in real life since.
Well, the thing is, the Laserdiscs back then, the players just broke down all the time. They were notorious for breaking.
That's right. Airwolf was good too. I did watch that. And speaking of Airwolf, a star moment here. I was in Toronto. This is a cool story. I was at the Fan Expo in Toronto. I'd say about 6-7 years ago, and the individual, the old guy that was in Airwolf. What the hell was his name again?
Oh, the main character.
The old guy with the gap.
Oh, Ernest Borgnine.
Yeah, I ran into him. No, he ran into me. He was walking down the aisle, and he bumped into me. He's like, "Oh, so sorry, sir." And I look up, it's Ernest Borgnine. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, okay, sir. Yeah, thanks. See ya, bye." And my wife was like, "Who is that old guy?" I was like, "That's the dude from Airwolf." It's like, so it's he ran into me, and he apologized, but he's passed away. I think, a couple of years ago.
Borgnine, he did.
Poor guy. He was to me, with the whole 2 seconds that I met him, he was a gentleman and a scholar.
You got to see him in the Dirty Dozen. He was a general in there. Yeah, it was good. Dirty Dozen. Have you never seen the Dirty Dozen?
Cool.
Oh, dude, you got to watch Dirty Dozen. Got to watch it. All right, we're gonna do
Well, that's the thing.
We're gonna
right?
we're gonna start
Go ahead.
wrapping up here. We've gone way over our initial time frame, but we'll be doing this again. Still, if you
Yep.
want to leave some comments down below, we'll go back and search for. We're looking for a name, a good name.
A good name and some feedback if you guys like this, because Glenn and I, this show is going to be a little different. Glenn and I went back and forth on so many things, and where this show is going to be different than the retro buzz. We're just the older guys in that generation, and Glenn and I will talk about the stuff that we
Right.
grew up with, in a sense, right? And it's nothing to take away from the retro buzz or anything like that. It's just different. It's just a different set of conversations, if you will, right? And that's all it is at the end of the day. So we're looking for a name. We're looking for feedback. The most, right, Glenn? I mean, it's just to hear what people like to hear. Do you want us to curse a lot or a little bit or not at all? Like these kind of things. We want to know.
And also, before we go off, I want to say once again that Millie and his Kickstarter campaign. The link is below in the chat. I'm gonna put it also down in the show notes. The Crazy Climber game you're seeing, down below right there is on the Colecovision, which is something he's doing right now. He did reach his Kickstarter goal, but we want to try and help him out a little bit more, right?
Yep, exactly. Oh, Cammy lives in
Yeah,
Tasmania.
man.
Well, Electric Adventures, which is a good friend of mine, Tony. I don't know if you know him, but basically,
I know Tony. There's like a lot of
he lives.
Tonys. I mean, I'm Italian.
Tony Cruz is his name, and he has the YouTube channel Electric Adventures, and him and I are good friends and stuff like that. So he lives near Hobart. I don't know where that is exactly, but
Well,
it's cool. So I appreciate you guys all coming.
Cammy's come to the
Glenn
States
and
once. He came, I
I
think, to California for an Amiga convention.
He knows Tony. Like he just said, he knows Tony. So Tony's good people. He's good people. So yeah, any feedback for me and Glenn? That's the main thing. You know what I mean? Old dudes explain things you don't know about. It's a little long-winded, but
Sometimes that could work.
Old dudes explain things to younger people.
Those young
There you
whippersnappers.
go.
Listen, son, when I played a game cartridge, I had a blow in there. That's why I got no teeth. I blew them out, blowing the cartridges out.
And I had to lift it with my own hands.
I had to go to the TV.
Not just
I had to
the
reach in the
button.
back of this TV set to flip a switch.
Yep. That's what we want. We want that feedback, what to call it, and the subjects that you
Right.
guys wouldn't mind hearing about. Because Glenn and I we grew up around the same time. We basically had different toys, obviously, because he had the TI-99, I had the 64, but we grew up in that
Right.
same era of the cool stuff. Like we've gone on and on about different toys. Different toys that, hey, what did you have when growing up? And that's the stuff that's pretty cool. Some of that stuff,
Right.
some of it
It's
I
not gonna be
have,
just-
some
it's
of it
not
I
gonna be
don't
just
have.
video game related. We're going to talk about pretty much anything. So it's not like gaming specific related. We'll talk about it. But TV shows,
It's-
movies, where did Tab go? Tab
Yeah.
Cola, it's gone. What happened to it? Where did that go?
Yeah, exactly. New Coke,
Oh!
you know?
Not so good. We could do without New Coke.
Or what is it? What's the clear one?
Clear Pepsi.
That the
Was
Van
it Clear
Halen,
Pepsi?
Clear Pepsi, the Van Halen did Right Now
Yep.
song for.
So stuff like that. Where's the
You know?
beef? We talk about stuff.
Where's
about
the
that too.
beef? The old lady with the car thing. That
Hey,
was
Mikey,
awesome.
he likes it.
So
Talk about that.
what
was Life
that
cereal.
again? That's right.
No, and no
All
one likes
that
Life
stuff
cereal.
is
So it was a
cool,
lie.
you know?
Okay, it was a lie. You wanted Cocoa Puffs.
Well, that's the
you don't want
thing,
no
right?
Life cereal.
Old stuff from old guys.
Old crabby men.
We got the old stuff right here. Yep. Anyways, that's what we're hoping to. And then once we give it a name, I'll do some graphics and stuff like that. I'm a graphic designer. I'll throw some graphics near Glenn's way here and stuff like that. Do an intro.
And actually,
the intro
my
I
new
did for
intro I've
on
been
his
using now
channel.
was created by this guy over here. He changed my my really cruddy intro to the nice one I have now. And that's Stephen who did that.
The one with the
Yes.
Tetris stuff. It's cool stuff. So if you guys, if you like it, this is gonna get maybe that invested time,
Right.
And then did the one for Jason also. So it's pretty cool. It's that we're hoping to to just talk about pop culture,
Right.
video games, even sometimes
Yeah.
music,
Yeah.
you know,
We'll have
that
to
kind of
hum it
stuff.
because you can't actually
It's
play any soundtracks. We'll hum it.
you know you know what you got to go look online is people's reaction that never heard AC/DC's Thunderstruck. That it blows my mind that people to this day haven't heard that song. It's baffling,
It's played
but it's
constantly here.
hilarious to watch. No, no, but like, how do you go through life not listening to that song at least once? Once, like, even if you're not an AC/DC fan, the video alone is iconic with the guy jumping on the glass and playing the guitar and all that stuff. And but watch those videos; they're hilarious. What's Thunderstruck? But it's true though. You're watching these people going, "Hey, this is the first time I'm hearing this song," and then you see their eyeball. I don't know if it's all acted or staged or whatever, but you're kind of like, "Holy crap!" Like you've never heard Thunderstruck? How could that even be? You might as well be living on a remote island somewhere. It's like it's insane. So I guess we'll wrap
We'll
this
do
up,
it for
huh?
this time. It was our second
Yep.
episode. That was pretty far from the first one. We got to pick a time slot. We got to pick a night still. It'll probably be,
Yep.
I don't know. It probably won't be on a Friday normally. We only did it tonight because the Retro Buzz will be returning next week again, and New Wave Toys will be our guest, and they have a surprise. New Wave Toys is bringing on a special surprise guest. So next Friday at 6, you don't want to miss that.
It's Arnold Schwarzenegger.
You've got
That's
to
what it
buy
is.
this game. You could do it.
You could do it. Get to the
So
chopper.
I do see Kongs Russ just joins, but Kongs, we're just wrapping up. We have make sure again at 9. He
He
did
just showed up,
9 o'clock
sadly.
tonight is Super Game Room Dudes. They still have their show tonight, so don't miss Super Game Room Dudes going at 9 p.m. Eastern time. And from Stephen, actually Stephen's this way. You're not that way. You're this way. From both of us, we welcome. Thank you all for joining us tonight, and check out the Colecovision Attic website. He has that there. And I want to thank you all for joining tonight, and keep adding some names. You can send suggestions to myself. It's Glenn's Retro Show at gmail.com. And Stephen, what's your
Send them to
email
Glenn.
address? Send them to me? Just send them to me. We'll do
Just
it that
send
way.
it to Glenn. I'll have an email set up and everything. I have colecoaddict@gmail.com if you guys want to send it there. But send us the ideas, comments,
Yep.
stuff
And
that
show
would be
ideas.
cool.
If there's something you want us to talk
Yeah.
about, send us show
Yeah.
ideas. You want us to talk about the Charmin? We'll talk about the Charmin. It's okay. Talk about anything.
Yeah, we'll try to get
We'll
the
shoot
old
the
lady
shit
from
on
Wendy's
Charmin.
to come and say a few words for us. Where's the beef and all that? We'll figure something out. We'll get our relatives on. That's what we'll do.
We'll have to. I think all those ladies are dead. I think they're dead. All right. So on that note,
All right.
on that really gruesome note, thank you all for watching, everyone. And remember, no matter what you do, have a safe 4th of July. If you were in the States, have a safe
Yeah,
time
we
wherever
just
you are.
had our Canada Day
That's right. It's the 1st, right? July 1st?
yesterday. Yeah, we had the day off.
You have the
But
day.
that was
Wait,
yesterday.
they gave you the day
so
off?
they
Isn't every
gave the day
day?
right in the middle of the week. It was
Isn't
weird.
every day in Canada like a day off? Michael B's making videos all day long. He's not. What else could he be doing?
I don't know him that well, but if he's having a day off all the time, I want to be his friend. Why not?
So, and again, thank you all for joining us. We appreciate the comments, and we always appreciate you guys. Always. Thanks for
Take
watching,
care.
and game on, everyone.
Tiny Arcade fan page. Remember, don't admire people too much. They'll disappoint you.
Sit, Blue Blue, sit.